everybody, welcome back to another Equitation Station video. I'm gonna do things a little bit differently this time. I think this is gonna be a little bit of a rambly update slash ride analysis kind of video. It's a little bit different than anything I've done before, so if this is something that you enjoy, that you like, let me know by subscribing, leaving a comment, liking the video, anything. One of my goals with this channel is to be as honest and upfront as possible. So I'm gonna out and say that this is definitely not one of our best rides. Some things went pretty wrong. There are a few times where I could have wound up in a really bad situation if conditions had been different. So when those points roll around in the video, I'm gonna let you guys see what happened, and then I'm gonna talk about what I could have done differently in the moment and what I'm gonna do better next time. I actually wound up having to change my riding route last minute. There was some weather that I was trying to beat, and the original route that I was planning on taking was going to take too long before the weather was supposed to roll in. Naturally, the entire ride was gorgeous and sunny with no bad weather whatsoever. But yeah, I figure I'll start with some updates first. First is some exciting news, which is that Nala and I have recently become brand ambassadors for Cavalier Couture, which is a brand that I've followed for a really long time. They do a lot of work towards increasing inclusivity in equestrian spaces, which is something that I hold really dear. So yeah, I have a discount code I'll put up on the screen for you guys. It's NALA15, and using that on your order will get you 15% off your total. I decided to put their riding leggings to the test here, and I'm glad that I did because they're sticky full seat, and we had some moments, which you're about to see. Nala and I haven't been able to take a lesson in a while. There's been some life stuff going on for both me and the trainer that we've been working with, so that's been on pause for a little bit, and in the interim, I've noticed that our flat work is plateauing a little bit. I don't feel like we're making as much progress as we were before. Nala seems like she's getting a little bored doing ring work, and I don't want to drill the same stuff over and over and over again. So while the weather's nice and the days are longer, I've been trying my best to get out off property and ride around where I can, which unfortunately in my area is really, really limited. This day that I was riding out, it was really windy. Like I said, there was a weather system rolling in, things were blowing around, and Nala was having a good look at a lot of it, which you can see. She's never liked those little lawn signs that you can stick in, like the political signs, or the signs that contractors leave behind. She hates them. She thinks they're gonna eat her. So she had a good look at one of those, and then I don't know what she actually spooked at a few seconds later here, but she definitely had a good, like, jump at something. Oh, and the last thing that I wanted to add onto my updates is something that unfortunately I won't be sharing to the channel in video form at all, but I had the opportunity to volunteer at a Teak and Sinead Maynard clinic this coming week. It's a 2-day clinic relatively near to where I live, so I'm going to be volunteering there as jump crew and to assist Teak and Sinead as they're teaching, which I am so excited to do. I've looked up to the both of them for a really long time. I think that they both have fantastic horsemanship, and I am so excited to see what I learn in those 2 days. So I won't be able to video anything at the clinic because I'll be busy helping, obviously, but I'm hoping to put together a recap talking about the volunteer experience and ways that you can get involved in your local equine community. I think that's about it for the updates, so let's get on to chatting about the ride here. Unfortunately, the places to go hacking out in my area are really, really limited. My barn is in a pretty residential area, but we don't have any kind of built-in infrastructure like bridle paths or the like. Riding on the road, unfortunately, isn't an option. As you can see in the video, the shoulder is pretty much non-existent along this road. So we make do with what we have, which is a couple stretches of sidewalk and some private roads in a local community. In this video, I did decide to try riding on the road just to see how it would go, which actually was a really bad idea. We're actually coming up on that part of the video now, so I'm going to let you guys watch this play out, and I'll talk about why this was not my best idea afterwards.
Good man. That's it. Welcome. Over here. Right now. Good girl. There we go. Good. You're so brave.
So let's talk about what we just saw there. I decided to take Nala into the road once the sidewalk ended. That point in the road is located on a hill as well as a curve, which is already a recipe for disaster. And she was willing enough her first couple steps onto the road that I decided to ask her to keep going. But as you saw, she pretty quickly decided that she was not about that, and pretty quickly let me know that she was not going to keep going. So I tried a little bit to see if she would be willing to go forward if pressed, and she made it really clear that she wasn't. And then also we had a car coming up the road towards us, which thankfully they saw us and they stopped well back. So once I got Nala turned around, I did trot her back towards the sidewalk, just because I didn't want to be taking up that car's lane for longer than I had to. We made it back safely onto the sidewalk, and honestly, if it had been a different driver in that car who wasn't paying attention or didn't care that we were in the road, or if there had been a car coming down the road behind us that maybe hadn't seen us, or again didn't care, that could have ended really badly. So what I've decided here is that I'm not going to try riding on the road again with Nala, at least not at this part. It's just too risky. She's very clearly not willing to keep going, and there's just no upside to it that I can see. So for right now, we're going to scratch that from our potential ride areas, and we're just going to stick to the parts of the development that have paved sidewalks. Alright, back on with our ride. I did turn Nala around here and I asked her to walk back down the sidewalk again, because I wanted to create a bit more of a positive experience, and also reinforce that if she says no to going somewhere and wants to spin and turn towards home, that it doesn't mean that she can just take off straight for the barn. We're still going to do a little work in between. So we did that, and then we set back on our way for realsies. Nala and I actually rode past this part that's under construction last year. Actually, if you follow us on Instagram and you saw the summer hack out video that I did last year, you can see that exact spot. So it was cool to go back and see that again, and cool to see that Nala is still pretty confident going past a construction zone. This community has really lovely crushed gravel walking paths that I really do my best to keep as neat as possible and not leave hoof prints or manure or anything behind. There are a couple drainage ponds located around this complex, and it's frog season, so right now there are the loudest frogs in there, which Nala was definitely giving a little bit of a side eye earlier. It's not like normal frog croaking or ribbiting or whatever. I can't even describe how strange they sound, but it's definitely something. Alright, here's the next thing that goes wrong on our hack. Usually when we ride through this development, we come from the other way, so we come out from behind the pool there, instead of going up through the parking lot to that trail. So she's been through here a bunch of times before, but she's never actually approached the trail from this direction. And she saw something that really, really wigged her out, and just refused to set foot up there. I tried circling her around to see if she just needed a second to look at it, but as you can see, again, she's really saying no. I tried walking a couple circles, doing a little bit of leg yielding with her, seeing if I could get her reset and focused back on me, but ultimately did not work, as you can see here. We got some really nice backups and lateral moves out of this though, so that's a net positive, I guess. But with the person there coming around the corner to go to the pool, I decided that discretion was the better course of valor here, and ultimately gave up trying to get Nala to go that way. It was not worth picking a fight with her in the middle of the parking lot. So this one I do actually have a plan to address, and it's something that I'm going to do the next time I ride out this way. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put Nala's rope halter on underneath her bridle, and then do her trail in the reverse direction that I was trying to do today. And if she's just as spooky then, I can jump down, I can do a little groundwork with her, or I can lead her past whatever's scaring her, without the risk of me being on top of her and unable to control something that happens. I'll be able to manage the situation much more from the ground and hopefully build some confidence with her, because she's much more confident when I'm on the ground and she can see me. Something that I've been trying to do a little bit more of each ride is trot work. Up until recently, I felt like I haven't had enough control to trot safely in an open environment like this. I've kept trotting localized to ring work because Nala would get so worked up and so anxious about it that it would ultimately wind up becoming an unsafe situation for the two of us. But I've been trotting this little stretch here the last couple times we've been out, both on the grass and on the pavement, and she's been a gem about it. In this moment, there was a really loud bus that came up behind us and didn't slow down, so wound up passing Nala at a pretty good clip, making a lot of noise, and you can see she kind of picked her head up there, but didn't go anywhere, which, good girl, Nala. And then after we made another turn, there was another vehicle that came up behind us. Thankfully, they were really polite and knew how to safely pass a horse. They gave us lots of space, they went slow. So I was really appreciative of that, as was Nala, because she was a lot calmer about it. As we're heading back home, Nala is far more relaxed than she was before. I'm riding her on a loose rein at this point, taking a video for my story on Instagram. Overall, I would call this an okay ride. It definitely was not one of our best. I was really disappointed that I couldn't do the route that I was originally planning to do. And I'm disappointed in myself for trying to ride on the road when I could have extrapolated from the information that I had that it wasn't going to go well. And I guess time will tell if it wound up being more detrimental than helpful. But the important thing is that Nala and I are both okay. Nothing bad did happen, and I learned some pretty important takeaways for next time. And then that's it for our ride. We're back home. We covered just under 2 miles in this ride. I think it took about 40-45 minutes, which is a pretty good ride for us. And I'm hoping that this long and slow and steady work will help build her conditioning outside the ring, so that when we get back to doing stuff in the ring, she's had a little bit of time to reset. But yeah, thank you guys for riding along with us today. Glad we could take you with us, even though this wasn't the greatest ride in the whole entire world. To those of you who have watched this through until the end, thank you very much. I appreciate you. As always, if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more content from us, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, maybe leave a comment. Let me know. I want to hear what you guys think. And until then, have a good ride, everybody.